It's the countdown now to Fallout 4. It will be with us in about a day, that's 24 hours. So this video we're going to go over some of the things to be considering when waiting for this. And the first thing, let's dive right in. Now a perk chart has been released officially now, 100% confirmed. As you can see here on this website, which I'll put a link in the description, it has all of the perks, and if you click on one, for example here, Hacker, it will display what you get at the different ranks. It's kind of a Fallout 4 perk wiki. So you've got obviously your main stats here, your 7 main stats: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, luck. And then branching off from these, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 higher levels of those specific attributes or perks, however you want to call them. So just having a look through, a lot of them are very similar to what we've seen before: Bloody Mess, stuff like that, Iron Fist, Rifleman, standard kind of things. Attack Dog might be a new one. What's this one here? Let's have a look. A W Whisperer, Wasteland Whisperer. Right, pacifying creatures. Okay, some of these stats were not four-leaf clover. Some of these stats are generally you just don't go near them. The basic ones that I personally use are the ones for endurance, are quite useful, definitely on the early stages, sort of your toughness, lead belly, and things that are on like gunslinger. They're very useful. And let's have a look what else we've got. Awareness, see things around you. Old classic Bloody Mess, which just makes your characters explode everywhere. So it's worth, first step is to get on this website, again link is in the description, and plan out what the kind of character you're going to make. I generally make an all-rounded character because I like to try and use as much of the what Fallout 4 offers you, in terms of, like, you could sneaking around as a little thief, kind of assassin guy, but I also like to be the chunky guy with your power suits on and just literally running in there and blowing the shit out of things. So this is the first point of call before starting the game, or just on the build up to game. It's something to be considering while you're waiting, so definitely check that out. Now moving on to number 2. Alright, so the second thing to consider as you're jumping in, or personally I would consider, is the gun creation mechanic. To start with, I'm guessing they won't give us a lot of parts to play about with, but you will get more as you progress. So at these early stages, you have to be thinking on which way you want to be heading with your guns. Do you want sort of sniper rifle-y kind of guns? Do you want smaller guns with big power, or maybe smaller bullets to not be noticed as much? Or do you just want some giant gun, like something ridiculous off of Doom, like the BFG 9000? It all depends on your character's attributes, which you dealt with before. If they're really tough, then they can probably stand a lot of firepower, so they could probably have a gun with a longer reload time but a more of a powerful attack. Whereas if you're a stealthy kind of thiefy guy, you may want to focus on more silent guns, smaller guns, ones with sort of quicker fire, quicker reload, to take your enemies down faster. These are all funded by parts that you find around the entire world. So as Fallout 4, in Fallout 3, there was lots of items that just had no purpose at all. But this time, apparently, the items will come in use because you can scrap them down into your different metals and your different parts, and there are lots and lots of different variations to be playing with. So you need to consider the type of gun that will suit your character and build on that as you move along. I'm sure there's going to be lots of tutorial videos. I know I'm going to do a few on gun creation and see up some of the concoctions that I come up with. So that's your next stage, considering your gun that you're going to be carrying around this wasteland with you, your best friend apart from your dog. Um, and so that's the second part, and moving on to the third part. Right, so in the third part, we need to consider where we are going to build our base. Are we going to build it? I know you can't just build it anywhere. There are designated build areas, but I'm sure they have different variations of where you can build. Probably like ones that are highly likely to be under attack, such as places near cities, or maybe there'll be ones in hilly areas away from general public that will be less likely to be attacked, and you could have as kind of a trading route. I'm not entirely sure, these are all speculations. But within your base, you build all of the walls, etc., stairs, lights, and also some of the stuff that I'm looking forward to is the raids that are supposed to happen from the people out in the wasteland trying to steal your stuff. So you have to build things like defenses, and you have to power these. So setting up a kind of like almost like a tower defense game, it will be like, I'm guessing, because you're going to have waves of enemies coming in at you. So positioning these in the prime spots is on top of my list to keep out raiders and such like, especially if you've got caravans coming in and out and trading with you. So that's the next thing to consider, where you're going to build your base and how highly fortified it will be, which will determine your survival on the world, well, at least your base on the world. And that's number 3. So moving on to number 4. Right, and the fourth thing to consider is your character play style, which will largely be influenced by what stats you've chosen, but it is not always set in stone that way. There are a few new things that have been found from the phone app of Pip-Boy, where you get to have a look at your character stats and stuff, and there's some new things on there such as trespasser, murderer, assault. So are you going to be one of the guys that just is a nice friendly guy, which I tend to be? I don't tend to just go around and attack random civilians unless I get to end game and I just think, can I just take on the entire world and just go and destroy everyone? But I will generally play as a more placid character that gets on with everyone, unless they find out that they're an absolute dickhead, so I'll blow their brains out in that instant. But there's some things like trespassing that have merged over from the games like Skyrim, and there's also murders and assaults. So assaults, I'm guessing it's just hitting them and running away. Murders will be killing an innocent civilian. I don't know if they'll have a sort of a karma mechanism in place. More civilians you kill, maybe more guards are after you in the certain bounty areas, because I'm guessing they'll be doing different zones that you got a higher bounty in one area, so you have to maybe leave that area and go to another area. So that's another thing to consider. Don't just run out guns a-blazing, just blowing the head off of everything that moves. You need to get a good bit of weapons first, a nice group of friendly people that you can stay with, and then maybe go off and be a bit more difficult with other people and see how you progress. Okay, and the fifth and final part to consider when launching into Fallout is the faction systems. So, as we know from previous ones, we have like the Brotherhood of Steel, and then there's various other different factions around the world, such as the Minutemen or the Children of Atom, and aligning with certain factions, as we've seen in previous Fallouts, can have, and sort of Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls games, can have positive or adverse effects on your character itself in terms of trying to get missions with them or bartering with them. So picking a faction that best suits your character's traits and perks and your playstyle is a big part of the game, as you will be working with them, I'm guessing, quite a bit of the game to do missions for them, etc. So that's a very big part of it. I'm generally, I've been with the Brotherhood of Steel obviously before, because that's one of the biggest groups and they have the coolest kind of armor. So I'm looking forward to trying out some of the newer ones and see what they've got to offer. So yeah, that is just some brief overview of some of the things to consider before playing Fallout 4, which is going to be out very soon, within about 24 hours. So thanks for watching. I hope this has got you thinking a bit about what you're going to do if you weren't already, or maybe it's added some new parts to what is going on in your head. Your brain's probably going mental now, like what you're going to be doing and stuff. So leave your comments on what your thoughts are, what the way your character is going to be heading. Any tips on character progression that you have, anything like that, give us some comments. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you on some new videos that I'll be making, such as weapon crafting, base building, stuff like that. So it'd be good to subscribe, because you'll see some cool videos hopefully. And I will see you next time. Cheers for watching, guys.